Welcome to this deep dive, created just for you.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're tackling a really big shift in history, how the Russian Revolution happened and how it led to the creation of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, it's a huge topic.
Okay, so let's start with the last guy in charge before the big change, Tsar Nicholas II.
Right.
Now, this is a leader who truly believed his power came straight from God, that whole divine right of kings idea.
Yeah, which basically meant he felt he had absolute authority. His word was law, no questions asked.
But, it's fascinating how that ancient idea really crashed against the problems Russia faced back then.
Absolutely. Early 20th century, Russia had some serious modern challenges.
Definitely. We're talking widespread poverty, lots of it, not enough food going around,
hmm
and just this growing anger. People were unhappy with the Tsar having total control while things weren't improving.
And then came World War I. That just threw gasoline on the fire, really.
It did. Russia's involvement.
Uh-huh.
It took all those existing problems.
The poverty, the food shortages, the dissatisfaction.
Yeah, and just amplified them. Made them much, much worse, much faster.
And the human cost was enormous. Huge numbers of Russian soldiers died in the war.
Which understandably just shattered people's faith in the Tsar's leadership.
It wasn't only the soldiers, though. The war completely disrupted the Russian economy.
Made those food shortages even worse, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Everyday life became a real struggle for ordinary people. It felt like everything was just collapsing.
So you have all this pressure building up.
Yeah.
How long could a system like that, one person holding all the power, actually survive?
Not long, as it turned out. The breaking point wasn't far off at all.
All that frustration, it just boiled over in the March Revolution of 1917.
That's right. People flooded the streets protesting. They demanded change.
And crucially, the military started losing faith, too. They weren't fully behind the Tsar anymore.
Faced with all that, protests, wavering military support, Tsar Nicholas II was forced to abdicate. He had to step down.
A huge moment. I mean, centuries of Tsarist rule.
Just gone. Like that. Hundreds of years of one family holding absolute power suddenly over.
Left a massive question mark over Russia's future, didn't it?
Completely.
What comes next?
Well, what came next was the formation of a provisional government. Alexander Kerensky was a key leader there.
Right. And the idea, the goal, was to set up something more democratic, a move away from autocracy.
They probably had good intentions, a government that represented the people more fairly.
Sure, but they inherited a country in absolute chaos. And some of their key decisions, well, they didn't help. Like deciding to keep Russia in World War I. That was a really critical and ultimately damaging decision.
Hugely unpopular. As we said, people were desperate for peace. The war was making life miserable.
And it's interesting, isn't it? The very things people wanted, peace, land reform for the peasants, enough food.
The core reasons for the revolution in the first place.
Yeah, those were the things the provisional government just couldn't seem to deliver. Staying in the war went directly against what people wanted.
It created this gap, a disconnect between the government and the people.
And stepping right into that gap, Vladimir Lenin and his group, the Bolsheviks.
Ah, yes, Lenin. A very different force. Radical socialists with a much more extreme vision for Russia.
Lenin's core idea was a revolution led by the working class. Right?
Exactly. Power straight to the workers in the factories, the peasants in the fields, bypassing the kind of democratic structures Kerensky was aiming for.
And a key part of his plan involved setting up Soviets. Can you break those down for us?
Sure. So Soviets were basically local councils. Think of them as committees made up of ordinary people, factory workers, farmers, soldiers.
So like local power centers.
Pretty much. They popped up across Russia, representing the demands of regular people for fundamental change right now.
So while the provisional government is trying to work from the top down,
These Soviets are building power from the bottom up, fueled by this desire for immediate radical change.
and Lenin and the Bolsheviks tapped into that perfectly with a slogan, a really powerful one.
Peace, land, and bread.
So simple, so effective.
It was brilliant, really. It hit the three biggest anxieties for most Russians. Short, memorable, and promised exactly what they needed.
Let's break it down. Peace obvious, right? Get Russia out of World War I immediately.
Which, as we've established, was just crushing the country. People were exhausted by the fighting, the losses, the economic strain.
Then land. This spoke directly to millions of peasants.
Who worked land owned by others, mostly wealthy landowners. They wanted ownership.
Yeah, land redistribution was a massive issue. This promise offered economic independence, a better life.
A fundamental desire for so many.
And finally, bread. Simple, but maybe the most urgent promise.
Definitely. an end to the crippling food shortages. When people are starving, the promise of food is incredibly powerful. It symbolized all the hardship.
So with this clear, resonant message, the Bolsheviks gained huge support, especially as the provisional government kept, well, struggling.
They couldn't deliver on those basic needs.
And Lenin stuck to his word on peace. One of the first big moves after the Bolsheviks seized power, which was actually in the November Revolution later that year.
Right, sometimes called the October Revolution because of the old calendar, but November by our calendar.
Okay, yes. So after taking power, they immediately moved to get Russia out of the war.
This led to the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, signed in March 1918.
But this treaty, it wasn't exactly a victory for Russia, was it?
No, not at all. It was incredibly harsh. Russia was forced to give up vast territories to Germany.
Important land, too, right? Like farmland and industrial areas.
Yes, huge economic losses on paper. Ukraine, Finland, the Baltic states, a lot of territory.
So why would Lenin agree to such a terrible deal?
For Lenin, the absolute priority was consolidating Bolshevik power, securing their revolution.
Okay, so ending the war, no matter the immediate cost, was essential for that.
He believed so. Stop the bleeding, stabilize the situation at home, even if it meant painful concessions. He probably thought they could deal with the lost territory later.
Okay, so it's all starting to connect. You have the Tsar's failings, the immense strain of World War I, then the provisional government's inability to meet people's needs,
Creating that power vacuum.
and then Lenin, the Soviets, and that incredibly powerful promise of peace, land, and bread.
Exactly. It all intertwined. From the Tsar's divine right ideas crashing down to the rise of these local worker councils, each step was crucial.
Tearing down the old system, paving the way for something completely new, the Soviet Union.
And that Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, while hugely controversial and costly,
It showed they were serious about peace.
it did. It fulfilled that key promise, which was vital for maintaining their support in those early, chaotic days and reshaping Russia's destiny. It was a clear break from the past.
Wow. We've just covered a lot of ground there, tracing those complex events leading up to the Russian Revolution and the birth of the Soviet Union.
Hopefully, it gives a clearer picture of just how transformative this period really was, a major, major turning point in world history.
Absolutely. As you listen to this, what really stands out to you? Do you have more questions about how the Soviet Union actually came into being?
It's such a deep and fascinating story, isn't it? There's always more to explore.
Definitely. And here's a final thought to maybe chew on. How different might the whole 20th century have looked if this revolution in Russia hadn't happened?
That's a
It really does. Now, just to help you check your understanding of what we've discussed in this deep dive, here are a few questions to consider. 1. What was the main idea behind Tsar Nicholas II's belief that he had the right to rule? 2. What were some of the key reasons the March Revolution actually happened? 3. What was the main goal the provisional government was trying to achieve? 4. What were the Soviets, and who are they supposed to represent? 5. What 3 things did the Bolshevik slogan peace, land, and bread promise to the Russian people? And 6. What exactly was the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, and why did Lenin decide to agree to its harsh terms? If you can answer those, you've got a pretty solid grasp of the key points we covered today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.